everybody to our group coaching session. This is our first group coaching session for the year 2025. It's a Soulfully Loved group. And if you're on this group, you are interested in prosperity, right? So you are interested in having a prosperous experience of life. That's basically what it is. So, in particular, you're looking to have a prosperous experience of life when it comes to our spousal preferences, because this is the Attract Soulful Love session, group coaching session. And our ambition for this year is to support you to open to prosperity consciousness. That's really what it is. Right at the beginning, when we started these programs, these presentations, this program, I said to you that attracting a spouse who supports you in your spousal satisfaction is an indication of prosperity consciousness. That's what it is. Only those who have a prosperity consciousness can actually attract into their life people, things, and experiences that are supportive. If you don't have a prosperity consciousness, then what do you have? You have then a lack consciousness or a poverty consciousness, where you repel high-quality people, things, and experiences, or you attract lower value people, things, and experiences. You get what I mean? So, the Attract Soulful Love program is couched in my prosperity consciousness teachings. It's just specialized to support, at this point, progressive women to attract into their lives husbands who are supportive of their spousal satisfaction. So I want to make that clear at the outset, that if you are here, you are committing to developing a prosperity consciousness. That's what you are, because that you cannot, it's not possible to attract into your life high quality people, things, and experiences, high value people, things, and experiences, including money. It's not possible to be attractive unless you have a prosperity consciousness. It's not possible. So I have a prosperity consciousness where, without trying to sell you anything, you are here. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I didn't have to force you to be here. I'm being me. I'm doing my thing. And you are here to be with me. And your being with me benefits you. And it benefits me because I'm interested in you and the experience that you are having. I'm interested in supporting you have the experience that you could have. I believe in you, and I'm here to show you how you can develop a prosperity consciousness or an abundance mentality, that you can, if you want to, become a person in the area of life that is marriage, a prosperous individual, a abundant person who has a man in your life who is of value to you, who adds value to your life. And you do the same for that person as well. So, off the bat, I'm letting you know that what we're talking about here is you developing a prosperity consciousness, an abundance mentality, a soulfully loved identity. That is going to make you attractive to people for whom you're going to be of value. You get what I mean? So I'm telling you, by me developing myself over the years and me becoming the man that I am, I have value to some people in the world, not all people, right? Those people who are prepared to invest in themselves, to spend time, energy, and money, attention on themselves, those people who are willing to let others like me support them. Those people who are open and receptive. Those people for whom spending time, energy, attention, and money is not an expense, but an investment. For those who want to invest in themselves, then they would find me attractive to them. They'd be attracted to me, and I'd be attracted to them. And this is the kind of associations I want to have in my life, especially my professional life. I don't want to interact with anybody who is not investing in themselves, because that's a waste of time for me. You get what I mean? So I am prosperous. I have a prosperity mentality, an abundance mentality, an identity, a professional identity that attracts people. Now, oftentimes people in my field, they attract needy people. Like, oh, I got this problem and I got that problem. Help me change my husband. Help me change the world. I'm a victim. I feel hopeless. You get what I mean? Usually, people go to somebody when they're needy or they're desperate or they feel worried and stressed, right? Now, I don't attract people like that. I attract people who are saying, look, we're inspired. We're thankful that there is a way. We're prepared to find that way. Show us the way, guide us along the way, and we're prepared to do what it takes. You see, so this kind of therapeutic relationship that I have, this kind of supportive relationship that I have with my students is an indication of a relationship where there is me being me, and I'm not trying to make people come to me. I'm not attracting needy type of people to come to me. I'm being me, and those who know what they want will know that I have value to them and will come to me for support, and I will appreciate them and support them as best as I can. Now, this is a professional relationship, but the very same thing can happen in a spousal relationship. I'm just giving you an example, just to show you, like my brother as well. His work is entertainment and supporting corporates and all that. And they don't come to him when they have a problem. Please, Mr. Magic, help us. We're in trouble. They come to him when they're looking for somebody to, edutain them and support their events. They come to him for, an improvement in they want a high quality experience, is what I'm saying. So that's why they pay. They pay him what he wants, and he gives them the best support, and they end up happy. So when people want something, not need something, they recognize the value, they're happy to pay, they get what they want. These are higher quality relationships compared to somebody saying, look, we got problems, help us. We need you. Right from the beginning, I always told you, imagine a man who says to a woman, I've got all these children from my previous wife, and I'm not coping with them. I need you to take care of them. I've got these ailing parents. I can't cope. I need you to take care of them. I'm so tired and exhausted. I can't look after myself. I need you to take care of me. I'm so, sexually frustrated. I need you to gratify me. Now, a healthy woman would run away and say, if you ever call me again, I'll call the police. Don't ever come to me. You get what I mean? Don't ever come close to me. Because that man who is like, I'm in trouble without somebody, I'm looking for relief, safety, and excitement. Those men are low-value men. They are not responsible. They are not functioning in a way that is adult. And, some women get very excited because they're not aware. They think he needs me. Without me, he can't live, They don't realize he needs a maid. He needs a step, he needs somebody to look after his children. He needs a nurse for his parents or, whatever his requirements are. they think they're going to be of value to this man because he needs them. They don't know the man doesn't see them and is not appreciating them and is not giving to them. That man is just taking from them. And so they don't know. This man is needy. And they'll get involved. Oh, you need me. Oh, you need me. They get excited. But they don't respect themselves in their life. They don't ask, do you have, any value to me? Now, if a man says to the woman, I have seen you around and I've noticed you. And, I admire you. I admire the way you carry yourself and you conduct yourself. I heard you are in this kind of line of work. These are things you do. You are very, artistic. You're very creative. You're very business-minded or whatever. You like going to the gym. I notice this. You take very good care of yourself, whatever it is. I admire you. I admire you. And I would like to get to know you, better. And, in a platonic way, would you, give me the opportunity to at least talk to you? Maybe in view of marriage at some later time. That's my intention, Now, that's a very different thing. It's a very different thing. So some women cannot recognize the difference between a needy man, a desperate man, a man who wants this woman for her money, her body, what she can do for him, how she can, serve him in relief, he's under stress, or make his life easier. And this is typically what it's been like. When men approach women, especially when men approach smart women, they see, hey, this is good, and what can I get out of this? And these women think this man is interested in me, let me use my mind to try and figure out if he's the right one. They don't know, they're already at a disadvantage. They're on the back foot. They don't even know that. You get what I mean? Anyway, the point that I'm making here at the outset is this is all about becoming the person who has value to others and attracts to us people who recognize that value and respect us for that value. You get what I mean? And so if there's anything that we do this year, it's developing a prosperity consciousness. Whether you marry this year or not, the very least I think we can aspire to this year is to develop a consciousness where you are attractive to high quality people, at the very least. That you attract people who observe you, respect you, and want to be with you. Not to say that you're going to be with them, because you got to select. A lot of women get excited. The first man that comes along, oh, you're very cute, oh, you're very whatever it is, you're so nice, let's get married. They think he's the one, God has sent him. In the meantime, they don't know. There's a process of selection. You know what I mean? When beggars come to you and they beg for money, they see which car you jump out of. They see how you're dressed. Needy people, they know how to target you. You know what I mean? People know how to target you. You could be so naive. You might think the beggar is just sent by God. You know what I mean? In the meantime, the beggar is looking at you and thinking, hey, I can get money from this one. You don't say this is meant to be and all that. You know what I mean? But when women are naive and they haven't received a premarital education, when they haven't been enlightened, then they remain, premaritally unaware. And this is the sad state of the situation. When I did my 2 programs towards the end of last year in November in Durban, it was very sad to see women speak who are premaritally illiterate and the kind of low level of thinking that they have. Now, I'm not judging. I'm just saying it's not a coincidence why women are in the situation that they are in and having unfortunate experiences. It's because of their being uninformed and their low levels of premarital intelligence. The woman's premarital IQ is very low. Not because they were born stupid or anything like that, but because there hasn't been anybody, giving support, and people are, stuck without this kind of guidance. There's a guidance gap. Anyway, so do you get it? That what we're interested in, the overarching theme here is prosperity consciousness, and within it we're looking at spousal satisfaction as an aspect of prosperity consciousness that we're specializing in. And if at the very least what we can do this year, which is very doable in the next 6 months or so, is to develop yourself into a prosperity consciousness, to develop yourself to be a woman who conducts yourself from being from having a prosperity consciousness or a abundance mentality or a identity, having this identity, non-neediness, non-lack, havingness that attracts. You get what I mean? So is that something that you think you'd be interested in? So even if you might feel, I'm not ready to get married just yet, I'm not ready to select somebody, would you be okay with you being more attractive to high quality people, things and experiences? Would you want to become the woman? Do you want to become the woman who is attractive to high quality people, things and experiences? Do you want to develop a prosperity consciousness? Do you want to have in your life people, things and experiences that serve you, that benefit you? I'm not seeing any thumbs ups, I'm not seeing any okay, I'm not seeing that's what I want, okay, because I'm not sure if I'm in the right place. You get what I mean? Like, if, there has to be communication in a marriage, in a relationship, and if you are a woman, when a man is talking to you, you keep quiet. That man is wondering, like, the lights are on, is anybody home? You know what I mean? This woman, what's wrong with this woman? She can't hear me. You know what I mean? Did I make a wrong decision? So you got to be able to participate in a relationship. Somebody's talking to you, you can't just be there like a child, look after me, look after me. It's more than a man looking after you. It's a participation. It's an engagement. It's an involvement. Somebody's talking to you, you got to understand this is what it looks like when somebody's talking to you, somebody's asking you something, you got to be available to answer if you are available. That is this, what do you want? I mean, some women will attract men who, don't ask them what do you want, and they'll say, my husband doesn't care about me, he doesn't ask me what do you want. But when a man asks you, what do you want? Like, what do you want for yourself this year? Then a woman can't presence themselves. Say, I want that. You see, if you can't say what you want, if you can't, somebody says, let's go here, let's do this. What do you think about that? And you're like, can't hear it, can't say anything. Then you're going to attract that man who's going to be not interested in you. You get what I mean? Men who are interested in high value women, they spot high-value women. Women who are like, anything, whatever, I don't know, I'm wishing, I'm hoping, then high-value men says, oh, these are like in a trance kind of woman. You know what I mean? They're like not present, they're not presencing themselves, we're talking to the wall, you know what I mean? So then those kind of men, they're like, these are not for us, this kind of woman. But, other men who are like, they don't care about women and all, then those women who don't presence themselves and don't participate and don't engage, those men will be attracted to them and say, let's not ask these women what do they want, and let's not show caring for them. You get what I mean? So you got to have a shift in your identity. You understand? You got to have a shift in your personality. You got to become present and presence yourself and responsive. You got to talk. You got to be interested. Otherwise you'll just be entitled. I'm supposed to be happy and he's not making me happy. This is what women will do. They are not participating, engaging, they're not involved, and they'll marry the men who are like lazy and don't want to extend themselves, then they'll say, you know what, this man doesn't care about me, and I do all this and I do all that. That's how you become, you have a victim consciousness, right? So a prosperity consciousness is the opposite of a victim consciousness. A victim consciousness is somebody who ends up with lack and ends up blaming because they didn't show up. They didn't show up. Their identity was of a child. They're like a little child. Whatever you want, anything, okay. And then they end up complaining. They don't participate. They don't engage. They don't get involved. So you got to ask yourself, what is it that you're here for? Why are you here? I just don't want you to hang around with me. I want you to benefit from my involvement with you. You get what I mean? What do you want? What do you want to become? Are you aware that there's something that you can become? Are you aware that you didn't become it? Are you aware the not becoming of it is causing problems for you? You understand? Are you aware that the becoming of it will make your life easier, that you have not developed? Remember, right at the beginning, whenever we enroll anybody, we always point out to you, this is a developmental program. It's a program to support you become a developed person. Now, some women, they don't want to develop. It's okay. But then what are you doing here? If you want to remain the same person you were your whole life, and it didn't work for you, it has patterns of self-frustration and self-dissatisfaction. You repel the right guys or you attract the wrong guys. If that pattern is continuing, it's because you are showing up a certain way. You are behaving a certain way. You are in the world, and the way you are being, it's, pushing away certain supportive individuals, and it's attracting unsupportive. It's your beingness. It's the way you're showing up. And that's why we ask the $1 million question. How is it that you are not currently soulfully married? The $1 million question is, what do you think the reason is that you are not already soulfully married? Now, I can ask the same question in different ways. How is it that you are not already abundant, whether it comes to marriage or finances or health? I can take any area of your life and ask you, how come it is that you're not having people, things, and experiences that serve you in satisfaction? Why are you not maritally satisfied? Why are you not spousally satisfied? I can ask you that question, which is the question we ask people. You get what I mean? And people always say, I can't find the right one, I met the wrong ones, I married a narcissist, and all that sort of things, right? But the answer why you're not spousally satisfied is you don't have a premarital identity that attracts to you a man who is going to satisfy your spousal preferences. That's the reason. There's only one reason why you're not spousally satisfied at this particular point. It's because you are not in awareness of your spousal preferences, you are not in ownership of your spousal preferences, and you are not inspired to have your spousal preferences fulfilled. You're not inspired to have your spousal preferences fulfilled. And thus you're not attracting to you the people that come to you when a person is discovered their spousal preferences, is aware of their spousal preferences, owns their spousal preferences, is committed to supporting the satisfaction of their spousal preferences. If you become that woman, you will start attracting high-value men. It's as simple as that. This is not a let's beg God, to send us the right kind of person. This is not let's beg God. God has put people in this world. For a certain type of woman, there's a certain type of man. For a certain type of man, there's a certain type of woman. There already is in this world high-value men. You get what I mean? For you. But you may not have that consciousness, that identity, that mentality, that personality of being in, in your ownership, being in awareness, ownership, and committed to yourself. Like, for example, I'm telling you, I know what I want to do in my professional life. One of the things that I want to do in my professional life is support progressive women get themselves soulfully married. That's what I want to do. I want to, make the word marriage mean spousal satisfaction. I want people to become aware that getting married is really all about spousal satisfaction, not about just getting married. It's like getting a job is not about just earning money. It's about job satisfaction. A job allows you to express yourself and be with people and do things that you like to do. So similarly, marriage is like that too. So I have an ambition, right, to support my sisters and brothers too at a later point, but especially my sisters, because they got the short end of the stick currently. Being premaritally illiterate. I mean, who did you learn about marriage from? Who taught you about marriage? Did you learn from your mother? Did she tell you things? Did you learn from your observation of your parents? Did the guru, did the pandit tell you something about marriage? Who? You are living a life unimaginable to the generations gone by. What can they teach you about marriage for today's time? I mean, what did they live in marriage? Their advice for marriage is, stay married, please your husband, and make sure your in-laws like you. Don't bring shame onto us. Don't come back home. This is India. This is India talk, when women were looked down upon and, it was a shame, to be a woman, and when families felt like bad and they had to pay huge dowries to the men, to take their daughters. This is all Indian mentality, you understand, from India, from back in the day. So, where did you get your education from? Who taught you about getting married? What did you learn? Who did you listen to? Were these people spousally satisfied, or on the way to being spousally satisfied? Who did you learn from? So my point is, I know what I'm doing in my career. I want to spend the next 25 years of my life. The first 25 years of blissful living was me accumulating information, using it, supporting me, testing it out, applying it on myself and the students. The next 25 years, which starts this month, is me making it available to the world, right? I am focused on what I want. I know what I want. I'm owning it. I'm taking responsibility for it. And I'm telling you, if you are in my space, that you got to be a certain way if you want to stay in this classroom. If you want to benefit from this classroom, you got to be a certain way. You got to be paying attention. You got to be reflecting. You got to look at where you are underdeveloped. You got to address your underdevelopment. You got to be willing to support change. You got to be willing to be different. You got to be willing to see where you're letting yourself down. You got to be willing to stop doing that. You got to be willing to develop a prosperity consciousness. Now, if you're here because you thought Ashraf is going to show you what perfume to wear, so a man is going to like you because of that perfume, and then he's going to propose you, and you're going to be happily married, or some kind of hack, then you are in the wrong place. You are in fantasy. If you're thinking you're going to remain the same, but you're just going to have somebody come to you and he's going to look after you and you're going to be happy for the rest of your life, while you have been who you've always been, premaritally uninformed and operating unconsciously, you're in the wrong place. You understand? Because this place is all about developing yourself. It's all about you actually becoming. It's about you becoming this prosperity conscious individual. Are you getting this? Does it make sense? Are you in the right place? Do you want to take responsibility? for your development. I got here not by chance. Neither did I get here by hard work. When I say here, I mean doing the work that I love in the way that I want to do it, with the people that I want to do it with. I got here not by chance. You understand? So I got here not by chance. I'm just making that point. I, was a lost cause. I was a lost cause. But there was a part of me that was open, and supportive. Right. So I'm just going to say that, I got here in my life by applying myself, stepping beyond into a intermediate version of myself. There has to be a learner in you that develops, that allows you to move forward. There has to be an aspect of you that is stepping forward. We can call it that, part of you that is the student in you. It steps forward to learn. It steps forward so that it can move the rest of you and shift the rest of your life. You have to step into what I call a student identity, where you're willing to learn, you're willing to take responsibility, you're willing to support change, you're open to change. You get what I mean? You applying yourself. There has to be that teachability. Where you're really, really interested in something. You really, really want something. So I got here from where I was to where I am, and I'm moving into the next 25 years of my life, also from that teachability, that learner in me, that student in me, that I'm open to learning, growth, and development. I'm willing to see me. I'm willing to observe me, where I've been and how I've lived. I'm willing to see how I can become. What can I become? I want to become. I want to be, become and be what? What am I not being? What haven't I been being? What haven't I been being? What can I become and be? You see? The being of which and the becoming of which will change my life. What can I become? What can I be? See? And that's how my life continuously changes. What can I be? What can I become? So this is an important thing that we all are to have. Now, the good news is you have used this aspect of you before. It's not new, and it's not something that you haven't done before. All of you here have become, all of you here have become in your life in some way, shape or form. You have become. So I just want to ask you a question, that I want you to consider answering. And if you want to share your answer here, you're very welcome, either on the chat, or you want to share the answer, not only on the chat, but you want to share it with me, then, verbally, you're very welcome. So I want you to think about in your life, before you were something and when you became something. It might be, I didn't know how to learn to drive, and then I learned to drive. It might be, I went and I learned something or another. I went to college, I went to a campus, I went to, and I learned, and I became. It might be I didn't know how to bake or cook, and my mother taught me. It might be. So, which part of your life would you say you have competencies, or you have become successful? Which part of your life you have competencies, or you've become successful, compared to other people that you became something. What are you in that area? You might have become independent. You might compare yourself with your mother, or others, or other women. Can you tell me where you are already successful? All of you here are successful in some way. Some of you might be successful with managing investments. You have investments. Some of you have learned to, sell. You're good salespeople. I don't know. You've learned something that you weren't successful previously. And, now you are successful in an area of your life. So I get it that when it comes to marriage, you may have a failed marriage. It can happen because we're underdeveloped. You might have gotten lucky at some point and then it ended, whatever. So that's what I want to ask you. Where are you successful in your life? Where are you better off than other people? And how is it that you got to where you are? That's what I want to ask you. I want you to acknowledge yourself. Where are you better off than others? Or where have you learnt? You develop some competency or character. Or you show up differently in the world, you are outstanding. Where are you successful in life? Where are you outstanding? Where are you functioning well? That you can compare yourself to other people. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, compare yourself with those who have less than you. So where do you have more than others? That you have played a role in it. All right, let's have some